The grand arena of Vaskra Prime pulsed with noise and light, a living monument to the galactic dominion's pride. Its walls shimmered with force fields strong enough to contain a starship explosion, and its stands were filled with millions of alien spectators, their voices merging into one thunderous tide of laughter and scorn. They weren't here to watch a contest. They were here to watch a mockery. At the center of the vast circle stood Lieutenant Kara Hale, a lone human beneath the blinding floodlights. Her uniform had been stripped away and replaced with a simple combat tunic, light gray, unarmored, utterly unimpressive. She stood barefoot on cold alloy sand, dwarfed by the creature across from her, Vorkal the Unbroken, champion of the Dominion's gladiatorial order, a 12-foot wall of muscle, bone, and bio-forged armor. The crowd adored him. They chanted his name in a dozen languages. The air quaked with their reverence. And then came the laughter. Not cruel in intent, but cruel in certainty. To them, this was a farce. Humanity, newly admitted to the Dominion, had been offered this duel as a welcome ceremony, a chance to prove their strength. Everyone knew how it would end. Up in the observation spire, the Dominion's High Lord Zaldron reclined in his hovering throne. "Observe, envoys of Earth," he crooned to the Terran diplomats seated nearby. "Let this be a lesson in humility." Kara heard none of it. Her pulse was steady, her breathing measured. She rolled her shoulders once, loosening tension. Her enhanced eyes flicked across the field, calculating. Distance, 20 meters. Wind drag, negligible. Vorkal's balance leaned slightly left. Old injury in the leg, maybe. Weak spot behind the second plate of chest armor. She wasn't nervous. She was waiting. Vorkal, however, was enjoying the moment. He flexed, showing off his claws, his teeth, his armor. "Is this the best your world can offer, soft skin?" he bellowed. His voice rattled the arena walls. "A pity. I prefer prey that at least screams." The audience howled with delight. Kara tilted her head, a faint smirk tugging at her lips. "You talk too much." The laughter redoubled. Even the announcer couldn't hold back his amusement as the gong prepared to sound. In the command deck of the Terran battleship Valkyrie, orbiting high above, Admiral Reyes watched through a live holofeed. "All eyes on her," he murmured. "No interference until I say." His officers stared in silence, some worried, others pale. Back in the arena, Vorkal raised his massive fist, muscles bulging like coiled cables. The gong began to hum, a vibration that made the air shimmer. Kara's pupils narrowed. She shifted her footing, weight distributed perfectly. Every muscle in her body synced with her internal implants, ready to release kinetic power beyond human norms. The sound built, until the moment it struck. The gong's echo rolled across the arena, and before the sound finished ringing, Kara moved.
Before the gong's echo faded, the world blurred. To the millions watching, it looked as if reality itself had skipped a frame. One moment, Kara Hale was still. The next, she was inside Vorkal's guard. Her right fist struck his chest with a sound like a thunderclap. The air rippled, the arena floor cracked beneath her feet. For a split second, no one understood what they'd just seen, and then Vorkal's armored torso caved in. The 12-foot Titan staggered back, eyes wide in disbelief. Blue blood sprayed from his mouth. His mind couldn't process the idea of pain. No creature had ever hit him hard enough to matter. Kara didn't give him time to think. She twisted at the waist, using every ounce of momentum, and slammed her left elbow into his knee joint. Bone snapped. He dropped to one side, roaring in agony. The sound of his scream drowned out the crowd's laughter. Kara moved again, faster than the cameras could track. She slipped behind him, grabbed the back of his neck, and twisted, a sharp, surgical motion powered by pure precision and rage. There was a crack. Then, silence. Vorkal's body went limp. The Dominion's undefeated champion, The beast who'd slaughtered armies for sport collapsed face first into the dirt. The bell was still ringing. A full heartbeat passed before anyone reacted. The crowd sat frozen, alien eyes wide, mouths open. Even the announcer had gone silent mid-word. Then came the screams, not cheers, but terror. From the viewing deck, High Lord Zaldron rose so fast his throne lurched backward. No, this is impossible. The human cheated. Kara stood over the fallen giant, her breathing steady, her face calm. Her hands were slick with alien blood, but her voice was soft, almost bored. He talked too much. She looked up, locking eyes with Zaldron through the shimmering barrier. The entire arena went quiet, as if waiting for her next move. "You wanted proof," she said, her tone cold. "There it is." Security drones whirred to life. Dominion soldiers burst from the gates, forming a ring around her. Plasma rifles powered up, glowing bright red. Kara didn't move. She stood perfectly still, head tilted slightly, calculating. Up in orbit, aboard the Terran battleship Valkyrie, Admiral Reyes stood from his command chair. His face was unreadable. He did it, before the bell even ended. An officer turned towards him, panicked. "Sir, Dominion forces are mobilizing. Should we extract her?" Reyes didn't answer immediately. He watched the live feed of Kara surrounded by armed soldiers, her expression calm as a loaded gun. Then he gave the order. Not yet. Because the message was already spreading. Millions of live feeds across Dominion space showing one thing: a human standing over a monster twice her size. And every alien watching realized the same terrifying truth. Humanity wasn't weak. They'd just been patient.
The silence didn't last. It shattered under the crackle of plasma rifles charging up. 1,000 Dominion soldiers flooded into the arena from every gate, armor gleaming beneath the force field lights. Energy bolts hissed through the air, scorching the sand where Kara had stood seconds before. But she wasn't there anymore. Kara Hale moved like liquid lightning, each step a blur of precision. Her implants flared with microsecond timing, every neuron firing at triple human speed. Plasma beams curved past her as if time itself refused to touch her. She seized one soldier by the neck, wrenched his rifle from his hands, and fired. Blue plasma tore through 3 more behind him. Another lunged from the flank. She spun, snapping his leg backward, drove her knee into his gut, then slammed him into the dirt hard enough to crater it. The crowd had no idea whether to cheer or flee. Half screamed in horror, others simply froze. Even the announcer, who had spent a career mocking lesser races, sat pale and silent. Up in orbit, Admiral Reyes watched from the command deck of the Terran battleship Valkyrie, jaw clenched. "That's enough," he said finally. "Get her out of there." But Kara's voice crackled through his calm before he could issue the order. "Negative, sir. They wanted a demonstration. I'm giving them one." She reached for the arena's central command node, a massive pillar of Dominion tech, glowing with the energy that broadcast every event to the galaxy. She tore open a side panel and jammed her neural interface cable straight into the feed. Her HUD flooded with data. Dominion broadcast link established. Connection. Live. Galactic network. Every Dominion world, every ship, every colony saw her face appear on screen, blood-streaked, calm, unyielding. "To the Galactic Dominion," she said, her voice cutting through static and chaos. "You laugh at humanity because you think mercy means weakness. You mistake silence for fear." Her eyes narrowed. "You're about to learn the difference." In orbit, the Valkyrie's main cannon array came online. Massive coils of energy glowed white-hot as targeting systems locked onto the surface. The Dominion warships above Vaskra Prime scrambled, trying to intercept,
But the Terran fleet had already surrounded them, silent and efficient as predators. Then the Valkyrie fired. A column of light roared through the clouds, vaporizing the Dominion defense towers that had aimed their guns at the arena. The sky turned to fire. Every spectator saw it, Earth's vengeance descending from orbit like divine judgment. Kara stepped back from the console, sparks raining around her. Dominion soldiers still encircled her, but none dared to shoot. Not now. Not after that. She wiped blood from her face and glanced upward through the arena's glass dome. The Terran fleet hung above the atmosphere like angels of war, their hulls gleaming against the fires of Vaskra Prime. Her comm pinged. Reyes's voice, low but proud. "Message received, Lieutenant, loud and clear." Kara smiled faintly. "Then let them hear it, sir. Because today wasn't just survival. It was a warning. The galaxy had mocked humanity. Now, humanity had answered."
Hours later, the fires of Vaskra Prime still glowed red across the planet's night side. The Dominion's seat of arrogance, the grand arena, was now a crater of twisted alloy and smoke. The laughter that once filled it had been replaced by silence. The footage of Kara Hale's victory had spread like wildfire. Every Dominion broadcast, every private holo feed, every backwater comm channel replayed the same moment on loop. A human tearing apart their champion before the first bell had finished ringing. At first, the Dominion tried to censor it. They declared it falsified, an Earth propaganda stunt. But it was too late. The truth was already alive across the stars. Millions of citizens, slaves, soldiers, and laborers across hundreds of worlds saw something they'd never seen before. A human standing victorious where no one ever had. In the Dominion capital, riots broke out. On conquered worlds, banners of rebellion were raised. The empire that had mocked humanity now faced the one thing it had long forgotten: fear. Aboard the Terran battleship Valkyrie, orbiting the ruined moon, Kara sat in the medbay. Her knuckles were raw, her bruises ribs, and faint burns marked her skin from the Dominion plasma she'd deflected. Yet her eyes were steady, watching the stars outside. Admiral Reyes entered quietly. He didn't need to salute. "You started something today," he said. Kara turned her head slightly. "They wanted a message. I made sure they got one." Reyes crossed his arms, studying her. "The Dominion's fractured. Several border worlds have already turned. Their fleets are in chaos. You know what that means, Lieutenant." Kara gave a faint, tired smile. "That the galaxy's finally listening." Reyes nodded. "Command's calling it the Vaskra event. They're rewriting the treaties. You'll have to testify before the Council, if they even exist by then." She didn't answer. Her gaze drifted back to the stars, those endless, cold points of light that humanity once thought too far to reach. "They laughed when they called us weak. That was their mistake." He looked at her for a long moment, then said softly, "They're calling you something, you know. The soldiers, the colonies, even some Dominion defectors." Kara raised an eyebrow. "What name?" He smiled slightly. "The Bellbreaker." For a moment, the name hung between them, quiet and powerful. Then the comm line chimed. Fleet Command's insignia flashed. Orders incoming. New war fronts. New beginnings. Reyes straightened. "Rest while you can, Kara. You just lit a fire that's not going out anytime soon." Kara watched as he left, then leaned back against the bulkhead, the hum of the ship beneath her feet. Somewhere deep in the Dominion, worlds burned with revolution. The laughter that once mocked her species was gone, replaced by whispers, fear, and awe. And across the stars, one truth spread faster than any fleet. Never mistake humanity's patience for weakness, because when the bell rings, the humans don't wait for it to finish.